Hello, in this video I'm going to review the Helikon Pilgrim Anorak and ask the question, is that jacket good enough to replace my British military issue smock? Now this issue smock is my go-to jacket because I tend to run on the warm side and I'm looking for a jacket that is reasonably cool, is very breathable and offers good wind resistance and shower resistance, and also offer me some protection from the outside while I'm pushing through undergrowth in order to sort of pick up poos after my dog and generally just chase after them. I also really like the pocket layout on the issue smock. So I was looking for something that was quite similar in terms of functionality, but wasn't quite so wary. Where I tend to walk my dogs, it is a military training area, and I don't want to be mistaken for the soldiers who train here, because if I was to be caught in an ambush with my dogs, that'd be quite traumatic for them. So I wanted something in earthy colours that wasn't quite so wary. And spoiler alert, that is exactly what I found with the Helikon Pilgrim Anorak. You can think of it as a more refined civvy version of the issue smock, tailored towards the civilian market. This colour is coyote brown, and it's a great colour for autumn because it blends in really well with the ferns and the kind of fallen leaves without being camouflaged and being too wary. Now the material is polycotton. They call it Dura canvas, but it's a polycotton blend which essentially is the same as the issue smock. It isn't as thick or as tough as the issue smock, but that's not a bad thing because don't forget that the issue smock has been designed with durability as its priority. It's been designed to withstand the rigours of war. This one is definitely more tailored towards the civilian market. It's plenty tough enough for civilian use. You can push through bushes, and I feel this will protect me. I feel there's no risk of it tearing at all, but it is more breathable, and it also has a slight stretch to it too, so it's really comfortable to wear as well. Now the pockets on this jacket are fantastic, and a lot of them have been taken directly from the issue smock. Now the first are these kind of chest pockets here. Now these are styled very much from the issue smock. They're angled, and the idea is I use my right hand to go into my left pocket and my left hand vice versa. They have the same kind of flap to get in there, and they even have the same kind of tough Canadian button, which is a really nice feature because these are held on with tape rather than just sewn in, which makes them very tough and unlikely to come off. Now the button itself is made from rubber rather than plastic, and that's great because it makes it more durable because it would flex rather than snap, which makes it less brittle, so it's a really nice feature. The other thing they thought of, which is really good, is they put a little tab on the inside of the jacket here, and the idea of this is you can attach a lanyard, so you've got things like a compass or a spork that you don't want to lose. You can have that on a lanyard, attached to the inside of your jacket, then you're never going to lose it. And I know that a lot of the guys, when they issued the smocks, would tape these in, modify the jacket to do this, so it's nice that it's been done for you. It's a really well thought out design feature. Now the other pocket from the issue smock is these Napoleon pockets, and there's two here, and these are really big cavernous. They go all the way to the back here, and they're really quite big. I could get a sort of OS map in there and lots of other things as well, no problem at all. There's just lots of room, so these are really handy. And one of the reasons I really like the issue jacket was those pockets are fantastic, especially when you're wearing a belt, because quite often when you've got a rucksack and a belt on, you can't get to the lower pockets, so having these pockets here are really handy. This jacket, however, has thought about that problem. What they've done is they've elongated the whole jacket, so it's very long, and the pockets have been made so they go below where the belt would be. So if I had my waist is here, so if I had my waist belt on here with my rucksack, I can still get access to my pockets, and that's a really nice feature. This is quite long, it's a pass-through pocket, so I can join my hands in the middle, but it also means I can carry quite long things in here. So for example, I could have my small mini tripod that I use for filming, that fits in here very comfortably, and it's a really handy pocket to have. It's also lined with like a velour material, so it keeps your hands warm when it's getting a little bit cooler, and it's just a really nice big comfy pocket to have. So I really like this much more than I thought I would. It actually makes the whole idea of pulling the jacket over your head, which I thought would be a bit of a pain, but it is a little bit of a pain if I'm honest, but it makes it worthwhile because this pocket is absolutely fantastic. The other pockets to note is it has the arm pockets. Now arm pockets in bicep pockets, I think they're called, in military issue jackets start to become fashionable when the guys start wearing body armour because you can't get to anything else, so they had small pockets here, and they're really handy actually. There's one on both arms, and I can get my whole hand in there, so again I can get quite a few things there if I wanted to, but it's particularly good for things like hand sanitizer and small items, maybe small extra sort of poo rolls if you've got the dogs. Really handy. So overall the pockets on this are fantastic. Now, another feature of this jacket I really like is how well you can control your temperature in it. Because for me, you know, I run very hot and I tend to overheat quite quickly. And this jacket is fantastic for that. And I've worn it down to, so far, only about 8 degrees is the coldest I've been, but I've been up to 19 degrees. And it's actually comfortable at all those temperatures because you can change your how hot you are by opening up all the vents inside. So it's really well thought out. So for example, all the pockets, apart from the 2 chest pockets here, have a mesh lining. So rather than just the material at the back, it is this mesh material, sorry, and it's quite a small hole mesh, which means I think it doesn't say it does on the website, but I think this is mosquito and midge resistant. So I think you'd stop insects getting in, which is a really good idea. But it does mean when the pockets are open, I can vent heat out there, and you know, I can cool myself down, which is really nice. They've also done this on the arm pocket as well. So again, they have the mesh behind it, so I can dump heat from the arms. And what they've thought about as well is pit zips. So I can open it up here. And what I really like about the pit zips on this jacket is I can close them and open them very easily while wearing the jacket. I've had some where I can't actually open and close it by myself without taking the jacket off. So just being able to do that is really good. And again, all mesh lined, so really well thought out. They've also thought about the dumping heat with the zip. Some anoraks have quite a small zip. Only comes down to about, say, there. With this one, it goes all the way down to the waist. So when it was sort of 19 degrees, I had this open like this, and I was plenty cool enough, even though I was walking, and I was quite active walking the dog. So it's a really good jacket for that. Really like the way you can control your temperature. Now, if it's getting cold, I can zip it all the way to the top. Okay. Well, that's quite nice because obviously you've got to keep my neck nice and warm as well. And the other feature I really like is the hood. The hood is very similar to the issue Smock. It doesn't have the wide peak, unfortunately, so you can't form it in quite the same way as you could with an issue Smock. But it does have a bit of foam to keep out your eyes, and it's very generous. One thing it does have, which the issue Smock doesn't, is it's very adjustable. So it's got 3 points of adjustment. So once you've got the hood up, you can cinch it down here with the little tongs. So you pull these down on either side, which pulls that in down that way. You can also pull it back over your face with the adjustment at the back here. And finally, you've got this one at the top. You've got another adjustment to pull this back over your head. So it's a really comfortable and generous hood. I'll just zip it all up and show you what it looks like. Very comfortable. Now, the overall fit of this jacket is it has been designed to be loose and baggy. And when you're ordering, I would look at the sizes very carefully because they come up much larger than they would normally. Now, for me, I usually take an extra large, and I initially ordered a large because even that was bigger than I would normally get. And that fitted really well, apart from when I put sort of a thick fleece underneath. Then when I got a very thick fleece, I did find it started to get a little bit tight under the arms. So I sent it back and exchanged it for an extra large. And if I'm honest, the extra large is what I normally wear, but this is a little bit baggier than I would have liked. But I thought it was a better compromise having it a little bit too baggy than a little bit too tight come the winter when I want to wear a thick fleece. Now, if it is too baggy like it is on me, what you can do is you can cinch it down. So for example, there's one around the waist here, so you can pull this in. You put your hand inside the kangaroo pocket, and then you pull it here with a toggle, and then you can sort of cinch that down that way. And you can also do the hem as well. So again, at the hem, you have these adjusters, and then you just pull them this way, and you can cinch it so it's nice and tight, and then you can kind of roll it around that way if you want to, if it's too long. I quite like it being long and floppy because it protects my lower legs and rear end, which is good. Now, I ordered my jacket from Military First, and I didn't get the sent for review. I actually paid for this with my own money, and I got a really good service from them. It arrived within a day because I paid for the 24-hour delivery, and when I went to exchange it for the extra large, I think I sent it back on the Thursday and it arrived back on the Tuesday, and that was with 2 days of postal strikes in between. So I was really happy with that service, and I would order from Military First again. So in summary, I really like this jacket. It feels very comfortable with it being very breathable and stretchy, so it's a really nice jacket to wear. And having the pockets where they are is fantastic because I can carry everything I need to, but just in my jacket without having to have an extra bag. And it's just a perfect jacket for the outdoors. What I would say is this is more of an outdoor countryside type jacket than it is a sort of town and city jacket. It's definitely not a fashion statement. It's not there to be worn, going out into town or going to a club. It's designed to be worn outside, and for that purpose, it is absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend it.